How did the movie come about? Was this something that Helen and Sharon had wanted to do and then came to you?
Well, actually, it's based on some articles that Helen Fielding wrote. She brought Bridget back in 2006 and wrote a series of articles for the Telegraph in London. And Working Title bought the rights to the articles, and the concept of the script came from those. And Helen initiated it, and so the story and everything was her concept.
And bringing Sharon back too, was that all part of the?
I think that came a lot later. The conversations about the script happened very early on, and I think around 2007 or 8, they started to talk about maybe wanting to revisit the franchise, and then Sharon came on when the script started to come together in, I think, 2000. I can't believe it's been so much time. 2014, I think.
Because I also noticed that Dan Mazer, is that how you pronounce his last name, was one of the co-writers, and also Emma Thompson.
That's right.
So did they come involved after Helen wrote the first script, and then they came in and worked on it too?
Yeah.
Did Emma do a lot of her scenes? I mean, was her section was written by her? The ones where you?
She was writing on the fly,
She
pretty
was-
much.
she was.
You're kidding.
Every take was different, which was really fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, did she hand you script pages and say, "This is what you got to"?
Sometimes we'd ask for them.
Yeah.
She's quite brilliant, actually. The pregnancy, a lot of that was her experience, and a lot of the as the script expanded and the story expanded, a lot of that had to do with Emma's contribution.
Now, Patrick, how did you get involved? You're the new kid on the block with this.
Yeah, I know. That's great.
And a chance to do comedy, because you did started out doing comedy and In the Mood and Can't Buy Me Love and whatever that bagel movie was that we
Yeah,
were
I
talking about
remember the
that we
name of
can't
it.
remember the name of.
That's funny.
And Enchanted, but
Right.
you're kind of more known for drama in a way. But how did this come? How did you get involved?
I got a call from my agent saying, there's some interest in you in doing this. Take a look at the script. I read the script. I liked it very much. And then we worked out the dates. It was, I enjoyed the scenes where she's in the control booth talking to, and I thought that those were really funny, and the pace of that was great. And then I came across Jack, and I was like, oh, this could be fun. Be challenging, certainly.
In what
daunting.
way? Just because
Just
you
kind
were
of
in-
stepping into this, and how does it add value? Will people embrace this character? All those things.
Because
Always
you're looking
nervous.
for love, but you're everybody's looking for love in this movie, but you're sort of, you don't want kids, but you're the one who becomes really, paternal when she becomes, I mean, you're looking for,
He's looking for a lot of things.
he's looking for a lot of things.
And trying to find the answers to those questions. Yes.
He's more than just his website.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. Here's a guy who created a website that
Right.
brings people together, and he's not with someone.
Not with someone.
So he needs to work on his own algorithm until he meets you, and then it's all good.
I always wondered, because there is so much comedy and slapstick in this movie. I mean, I thought the scenes with when first Colin is carrying you to the hospital, and then you stop by, and then you both, and then you're trying to get you in the door. I mean, it was like, kind of like old-fashioned slapstick.
So
like,
much fun.
But, everybody says, oh, when you do a comedy, you have to be very serious. It's just as serious as doing drama, and even more so, because if you try to be funny, it's not going to be funny. But so was this all timed out, or did you just work at the three of you and Sharon work out how to do this?
Well, logistically, there weren't very many ways to,
Right, get you in.
We need to get from point A to point
Point
B.
A to point B, yeah. And Colin liked to joke that people might find it amusing because on the day that they didn't at all find it amusing. We were joking that in the olden days you'd roll out, and you'd have to stop. You'd have to cut because the film reel would roll out, and you have to change the film reel, but not anymore.
Digital's on
Go
all the
in
time.
and go in, and the guys would be talking to each other. Did she say cut? Did she? We hadn't said cut yet.
But that seemed that was a long sequence. I mean, did it take a long time? I mean,
It took us a few days to do
days,
that.
yeah.
Yes. I mean, it wasn't much on the script, and then it was sort of
Right.
okay. Here's what's working,
right.
and we would build upon that
Yeah.
and try to keep it afloat.
Yeah.
Was it easy to get back into Bridget's shoes and be her?
Yeah, in a lot of ways it was, because I feel like I know her. She's familiar to me, and the process is, of course, more familiar to me now than before. But at the same time, it was a new kind of experience to rediscover a character further along in her life experience and try to make decisions about how to show that she's evolved, how to choose the ways in which she hasn't evolved.
Right.
Yeah, it was a new kind of challenge.
Because she's a successful TV producer now. I mean, we've seen her keep changing, and she's a very successful TV producer. But I thought it was interesting. She's still living in her same apartment. She's probably making more money, and she's still there.
Yes, and she's bought that apartment now, which is a hard thing to do in London, England.
She's probably so much in debt right now. That's why she's still living there.
Maybe. But then again, that second train line that really does exist now right outside the window was probably helpful.
Why do you think women especially, identify so much with her? I mean, because we catch her at 43 and she's successful, but she's still yearning for love and a family. But she has the career. Do you think, have a lot of women, since this has opened in England, talked to you about Bridget and what she, why they identify with her, or do they identify with her?
Well, sure. I mean, in my opinion, I would say women, because we empathize with her experiences, we recognize them. But I also think that people, just in general, so many men come up to me and share their stories about why they feel like they're Bridget Jones. But I think, it's her humanity. I think people recognize themselves in her anxieties, in her fears that she's not going to measure up, in the things that she hopes for, and the challenges that she faces. And it's interesting being privy to her inner dialogue about those anxieties, because we relate to those experiences. We know who it is that she thinks she's supposed to be versus the truth of who she is. It's like knowing her like we know ourselves. We know her secrets like we know our own. And I think that everybody kind of sees themselves in Bridget in some way. I think that's why she's sort of, she holds a lot of meaning for a lot of people.
Right.
Because she triumphs in spite of, or maybe because of, her imperfections, and that makes us cheer for her.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
It was a lot of fun.